April 15, 2011 was what poker players call Black Friday. On that day, the US government seized the domain names of the largest online poker sites and forbade anybody who played on those sites from withdrawing money out of their accounts. Now, there are a lot of people out there who play poker for huge sums of money, and some professionally, and they make a huge profit doing it. So for those people, Black Friday affected them greatly. But personally, I don't really know anybody who plays poker and makes a huge profit doing it. So I decided to interview a friend for this episode who plays poker and discuss with them and get their opinion on whether or not poker is really a profitable game. Alright, so you've been playing poker for, I'd say, 3 or 4 years now, right?
Yeah, well, we started in middle school, but yeah, these organized games, I didn't pick it up yet.
Yeah. So would you find, in your opinion, would you find the poker like a profitable game?
Yes and no, because there are days when you can make a lot of money. You know, you have one of the big nights, and then there are days when you lose a lot of money and just keep going because you want to redeem yourself and make your money back and all this shit. So it's a roller coaster.
Well, what do you think are some of the pitfalls that people fall into, like novice players or even like break-even players that they fall into in poker, that if they stop falling into those pitfalls, they might actually see a profit playing poker?
I would say in certain situations, over-betting. Like maybe a guy will get excited and his poker face shows it all. Then another pitfall is, in games like Omaha, you think you have something, but when the board there's a lot of pain, as you said.
There is pain.
So things like that, you think you may have a hand, but the other guy might smash you with a higher flush. But then again, if you're winning, it's good energy and you feed off of it. It builds up too.
Going back to overbetting, I think that usually if you are known to overbet when you have a hand that smashes the board, like the K9 for a flop and you have trip kings, at that point, that you should figure out that the only reason that somebody is calling you is because they know that you have a hand that if they catch up and get a better hand in on the turn of the river, they're going to crush you and they're going to take all your money.
Right.
So they're only calling A because they know that they have you beat, or B because they know that they have a chance to beat you, and if they do, they're going to crush you. So that particular part of overbetting, I think it's one of the first things that a novice player should realize. Because I think a lot of novice players do overbet and find themselves in those pitfalls, and they say, oh, well, poker's just bad luck. Well, no, it's because they read you and they understood your game and they crushed you.
Of course.
Would you suggest somebody who's just getting into poker in general ever to start with Omaha?
No, Omaha is something you have to do. I love Omaha because of the thrills it provides. But no, you definitely should get a hold of Hold'em.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Do you think, if you just had one piece of advice for somebody who saw this video and they said, okay, I want to get into poker, what would you give them that one piece of advice?
Are you a thrill seeker or a risk taker? Poker is all about losing and winning money, so it always messes with your head and your ego. And it's whether you're able to handle those consequences or not, of losing $10, potentially losing $10, $20, $30, $40 in the night, or making that in the night. So,
and just to go to what you were saying before about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, that's with your boys. That's like,
Yeah, that's just guys poker. If you're at a table, you can lose hundreds or even thousands of dollars.
Nothing.
Well,
if I had one piece of advice, I would just say, for even the people who are just like break-even players and played for a couple of years and just don't really see that much for profit, I would say just really research the game, figure out what's going on in tournaments.
They have books on this stuff, message boards, a ton of things, but also hone your style. Once you start playing, see how you play and see how usually you play with the same people too, so you get a read on how they play and see, hone your style to be effective at winning hands and then winning money.
Yeah, understanding, again, your own game and their game, it takes a lot of research. It's not something that you just learn overnight. The game itself.
No. We're years at it and we're still...
It's bad.
Yeah.
There's many elements to it. It's a very easy game to understand, but it's very difficult to master. So you really need to look at every single aspect of the game, how the pros play, how you play, how your friends play and all of that, how casinos play, and then make a decision as to whether or not poker is really profitable for you. Because a lot of people just get into this game and they say, oh, cards, like, this is great, like I can just sit and make money. And they don't realize all the elements of the game, and then they get addicted, especially because they're losing. They get addicted, and then they start losing money. So if you don't want to be under that, you know, if you don't want to fall in that pitfall, research.
If you have an addictive personality, be careful, because poker can become like a drug in the way I said mentally. So, mental entertainment. So have the mental capacity for it.
Definitely research the game. Definitely.